Titans and Trailblazers is brought to you by the MNC Group.
Hello, Africa. Welcome to another riveting edition of Titans and Trailblazers. As usual, we're going to have a particularly engaging interview. So please, stay right there. We'll be back right after the break.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
MNC Group is a leading investment holding company with expertise in minerals and food commodity trading, precious minerals refinery, real estate development, and logistics and energy. With individually registered companies, our headquarters is located in Accra, Ghana, with operational offices in Dubai, UAE, Hong Kong, and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia in the USA, and Milan, Italy. We connect business markets and drive growth. Trust us to maximize value in every deal. Call us on 0302-551-917 or 0302-551-918 or send us an email mncgroup@mncgroupgh.com. MNC Group, totally reliant.
Welcome back to Titans and Trailblazers, and today we have an exciting book for our monologue. We're going to be looking at strategic marketing of higher education in Africa. I need to first of all give plaudits to the conceiver of the idea, my friend Professor Emmanuel Mogaji, who is now at the University of Kiel in the United Kingdom, and he came up with the idea of writing around marketing and marketization of higher education matters in Africa. And his thesis was very simple, that Western theories don't quite apply to issues happening in the global South. That universities were evolving at a very interesting pace in Africa, and that there was a need to engage on issues around customer centricity, student management, student experience, marketing, branding, and all the other issues that make for a very good university experience. So we conceived the idea of doing work around marketing higher education. Now, when we finished that conceiving, we were able to finally turn out 3 different books. So this is one of a trilogy that looks at strategic marketing issues from a higher education context in Africa. So for this book, it was published as part of the Roots-led series in marketing. So we did it a couple of years ago, and what we wrote as an intro to the book is that the book explores higher education marketing themes along the lines of understanding higher education markets, university branding, international marketing strategies, digital marketing, and then student choice making. So we hypothesize in the book that because of the rapidly changing nature of higher education, not just in Africa, but across the world. I'm sure if you are watching, you are looking and hearing about the famous fight between Donald Trump and Harvard University, where the president of the US is saying that you can't admit any more international students. Yesterday, I understand a certain judge in the US said that idea has been overturned, and they are still in court looking at the pros and cons of having to ban Harvard from admitting international students. But from an African perspective, we need to understand that there's global competition for student enrollment. So universities are having to compete within their home markets as well as in the international markets. And as government funding for public universities keep dwindling, there's pressure for universities to seek additional income by increasing their student enrollment. Now, in Africa, sometimes the difference between what an international student pays and what a local student pays might be 15 or 20 times in terms of the ratios. So you can have a local student maybe pay $500 for a spot in an undergrad or a postgraduate program, and an international student maybe pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 US. So international students totally matter for the university ecosystem in Africa. And apart from what you get from student enrollment, you also get the cross-cultural fertilization, which is totally crucial for creating well-rounded graduates nowadays. So what this book tries to do is that it takes a composite view of strategic marketing and brand communication issues when it comes to higher education institutions in Africa. So we hypothesize again that you need to understand critical university stakeholders and develop strategies on how to best engage them. So we highlight in the edited volume the unique characteristics, nature, and challenges of African universities, and then we explore what we call marketization strategies of African universities with a certain focus on brand management as well. So what this book does is that it gives you significant theoretical and practical implications for the way marketing should be carried out in African higher education context. So international recruiters, international practitioners also aiming to market what they have to Africa would also find this book very, very interesting. So what do we do in the book? In chapter 1, we do an intro. So we do an intro to the edited collection and tell you who has contributed to the book. In chapter 2, we address the issue of marketization in African universities in an era of decolonization, continuities and discontinuities. So we look at, if you take the whole phenomenon of decolonization, what does it mean in terms of what we should continue and what we need to start from an African higher education context? Then in chapter 3, we look at an integrative model for marketing higher education in Africa, and we look at the issue of branding beyond survival for posterity. In chapter 4, we look at digital marketing. We look at the challenges, pros and cons from a higher education marketing perspective in Africa. In chapter 5, we look at exploring the harmful effect of informational dissonance on student recruitment, and we take it from a Moroccan case study perspective. Then in chapter 6, we look at higher education marketing communications in a digital era. In chapter 7, we look at social media for African university strategic communication. In chapter 8, we look at social media again, but this time we zoom in on Nigerian universities and how they are using Facebook for their marketing activities. In chapter 9, we look at digital marketing communications for private universities in southwestern Nigeria. In chapter 10, we address the issue of university reputation management. In chapter 11, we look at the issue of corporate visual identities, and then we analyze it from a multiple African university perspective. In chapter 12, we look at how we can leverage university value through branding. Then in chapter 13, we wrap it all up by looking at what it means to move from research to practice in respect to marketing higher education in Africa. So, what did we achieve with the book? We argue that there's a need to understand higher education market in Africa better. Because the continent is vast and is dynamic, we are saying that there are different higher education systems in different countries, so we need to theoretically examine what will work from a West African perspective, from a North African perspective, from a Southern African perspective. And we also argue that universities need to be aware of what their markets are needing. They need to understand things like competitor profiling and how it matters for university survival. They need to understand issues around student customer management from a local student perspective and from an international student perspective. Universities also need to understand external stakeholders like university associations, like governing bodies, like parents, like government institutions, because all these stakeholders affect university operations. Then we also shed light on the fact that student decision-making processes need to be better understood so you can develop better marketing campaigns to do student recruitment. So we look at several empirical works on these studies and look at things like what does parental influence bring to the table when it comes to student recruitment? What does religious affiliation bring to the table? What does having multiple branch networks bring to the table? What does having dual curriculum universities bring to the table? Because there are universities in Africa where after you attend, you can probably get a foreign university affiliation and a local one as well. And then in Africa as well, there are a lot of international university brands that are operating on the continent as well. Then we shed better light on digital marketing and social media activities. We try to answer questions like, are African students engaging with their universities on social media, or do they still prefer traditional media? And if it's a mix, what is the mix ratio? We are looking at things like how are information search and decision-making processes looking like from a student perspective, looking to choose a particular university brand. Then we also argue that whilst universities have websites and social media, it is essential to understand how issues, for instance, around creative design on the website, quality of information, quantity of information, all affect the way students engage and choose, or prospects engage and choose. Issues around content creation strategies. How is it working from a university marketing perspective? You see, universities in Africa need to make an effort to evaluate their marketing strategies and recognize what they need to do to build long-term brands beyond mere survival. They need to understand competition issues and make an effort to stand out through unique brand management and marketing strategies. They need to be intentional about building international collaborative networks, need to be intentional about managing a reputation, need to be intentional about research partnership, and they need to be intentional about how the facilities in the universities affect student perceptions and their ability to recommend the university brands to others who may want to go to those universities. In conclusion, therefore, we argue in the book that universities need to understand product management. Listen, in a university, a college brand is different from a school brand. A school brand is different from a departmental brand. The departmental brand has its own brand persona compared to the bouquet of master's options, doctoral options, undergraduate options. So product management is key. A university managers need to understand how products are born, how they grow, how they peak, how they decline, and even understand issues around revitalization strategies when a product wants to decline. Those things are important. Universities need to understand pricing matters. How do we price a university product? Do we price at par? Do we price at premium? What does it mean to introduce an executive education program? Why should an executive MBA cost $50,000 instead of $5,000? So issues around value-based pricing, it's important for university managers. Issues around marketing communications. How do we communicate online, offline? What do we do with PR? What do we do with sponsorships? What do we do with advertising? Should advertising be through banner adverts on My Joy Online or CTFM Online? You need to know, because there's a science behind the choice of marketing communication messages, and the choice of marketing communication platforms. So you need to understand how the promotion issues work. Pricing also matters. How do you distribute university products? What is the quality of your online and distance education offering? Those things matter. Then people also matter, because sometimes you call a university in Africa and some joker has picked up the phone. They mess up the whole university brand in 2 seconds. Processes matter, fiscal evidence matters. To wrap up, therefore, universities that want to do well and excel need to understand marketing, branding, and customer experience in new ways, because in an AI era, the old systems don't work anymore. We need new thinking to take the universities forward and make them competitive on an increasingly globalized stage. Thank you for listening. We'll be back with more of Titans and Trailblazers. Thank you for being here.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. With MNC Properties, property sales, rentals, and management is a walk in the park. We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 to 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We offer flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs, plus litigation-free lands in vibrant and upscale communities that presents the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 0302 551 917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Welcome back. Today I have a guy I totally love. You know, I met him recently in an interview, and when he left, we were like, oh wow! Because the guy was totally brilliant. And I'm a very difficult interviewer. Hey, that's what, if you can run. I remember one guy saw me and he ran away. He's a big man. I saw him through the window. He said I was going to the washroom. He didn't come back again because he saw me. He didn't show up again. But my friend here didn't just show up. He gave a brilliant interview. And for the first time in the history of Titans, I'll read a profile he sent me to you before I tell you who he is. This man is a marketing leader and a business strategist who has worked on some of West Africa's most familiar consumer good brands. And I'll tell him something later. I did some research on some of the things he does. I'll tell him later. He's a strong voice on AI in marketing and the creator of Get Ahead AI training for marketers and business professionals. He's recognized by LinkedIn as a top voice in marketing and business management. He's currently the marketing manager West Africa at FanMilk Danone and leads the introduction of Danone brands across the sub-region. He works and oversees countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin. I'll leave him to tell us more about himself. But Eric Kuma, please, you're welcome to Titans and Trailblazers.
Thank you, Prof.
Total honor to have you, sir.
Prof.
Absolutely,
Prof,
sir.
you are the one.
Very good
Ask
to have
me
you,
why.
Prof,
You are the one. Ask me why.
Please tell us why I am the one.
Prof, you see, a lot of academics and researchers speak about marketing,
Yes,
but when they talk, they make it sound so intellectual and very far away.
Yes,
but when my prof breaks down marketing,
Yes, sir.
you would think he did an internship in Medina Market.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When my boss breaks down marketing,
Yes, please.
you would think he runs night shift in Malata Market.
You see, oh.
And let me tell you what even killed me.
Go ahead.
When you started talking about customer service or customer experience, a lot of people don't even know that marketing is broad enough to even encompass customer experience.
Absolutely.
So when you started talking about it, I was like, wow.
Absolutely.
This is what people need to hear.
That is it.
Because at the end of the day,
Yes.
brands go out and make promises.
That is it.
Brands tell consumers, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you, I am this, I am that.
Absolutely.
So finally, when the consumer walks into the building,
Absolutely.
who do they meet?
Absolutely.
An underpaid,
Absolutely.
demotivated,
Overworked,
stressed, demoralized, poorly
ill-equipped.
equipped person to represent the brand. It's like destroying every single thing the brand has built.
Absolutely.
And you are the only one I have seen
Absolutely.
who has broken it down in a way that people will understand.
Thank you, sir.
I respect you so much, boss,
Thank
and
you,
I
sir.
thank you for
Thank
giving
you,
me
sir.
this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to have you, sir. So please, since you respect me so much, tell us where you come from, where you were born, and why you even chose this marketing direction. Because I remember when I was in school, they say if you do marketing, you go and sell tomatoes. So I remember the most fashionable thing to do was accounting or finance. But I think this is an excellent route to run. So tell us who you are, where you've come from, and how you got here.
Wow. I have an interesting family background.
Okay.
Yeah, before I was born, my parents were actually living in Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so...
Oh, wow.
Yes. When it was time for me to be born, my mom came to Kpando, where her family was. She had the support, and then I was born there, lived, my first year or two in Kpando. Oh. Then we moved to Nigeria. Okay. So I started over there.
Were you in Lagos proper?
Not in Lagos. Still in Oyo State, but not in Lagos,
right.
yeah. And so I started, over there, went to school, mingled with the people. It was a really good upbringing. It was a simple home and seriousness. Our parents were very interested in academic affairs, in general upbringing. And when you grow old, you begin to understand the sacrifice that your parents really put in to get you to the level where you've got to. At the time you are a child, you probably do not understand it, but as time goes by, you get to appreciate this. So that kind of upbringing set me up.
So do you remember the name of your primary school?
Ifelodu Nursery and Primary School.
That's a long name, and they taught you well.
They did.
Okay.
They did, and it was a really good, experience. And that kind of upbringing gave me a number of things. One of it was it made my view of the world broad. So I view the world from a place of opportunity. Okay. Also, it allows you to be able to go anywhere and fit in, because you learned how to fit in at an early stage. So these themes have been there. They've helped me along the way to where we are. So that was the upbringing.
So primary school was also Nigeria?
Yes.
What about secondary school?
So secondary school I attended Bishop Herman in Ghana. Yes.
Biheko. That's
Biheko in Ghana. And it was, I will tell you something interesting that happened in Biheko, which has helped to shape the course of my career.
Of course.
Yes. And then from there, I went to the University of Cape Coast.
Okay.
Yes, where I got my first degree in IT.
In IT?
Yes.
It was called Information Technology?
Yes.
That's the name
yes.
of it. Okay,
yes.
all right.
Bachelor of Science,
BSc
Information
IT.
Technology, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from there, I got a business degree. I attended the University of Central Lancashire in Preston, and then I got my MBA over there, and then I've been working in marketing.
Was it a general MBA?
Yes, it was a general MBA then, yeah.
Okay.
And then I've been working in marketing since then, and by the grace of God, my career has been blessed.
What happened in Biheko? Is it a mixed school or boys' school?
No, it's a Catholic boys' school.
Typical
boys' school.
Okay.
Yes. So I arrived in Biheko. Is it Form 1s?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were taking us round. They will show you the buildings. They say, so this is your chemistry lab, this is your dormitory, this. But I was very uninterested. I was just going through the motions until we got to one particular building. Okay. It was a story building. The ground floor had classrooms, and then we climbed, a flight of stairs and got to the first floor.
Indeed.
Then they opened the door, and I got into a room. Boss, what I saw in that room.
Wow.
They had 2 rows like this of computers.
Correct.
About 20 on the left, another 20 on the right.
Correct.
They were all running Windows 98 back then. That tells you how, and the room was cold. Yes. You could hear the system units, the fans were, and when I stood there, something moved in my spirit. I felt like, wow, I'd never seen computers like that before.
Absolutely.
And so when I saw that, I was moved. And that moment was one of the defining moments of my career, because it spiked an interest in me in technology, and a lot of things have happened since then. Okay. But that moment, I can still picture it as I speak to you today. Yes.
So Biako was senior secondary? Or?
Yes.
Okay. And then from there you went to?
The University of Cape Coast.
But why UCC? I'm sure you could have read IT in KNUST. I don't know. Why UCC?
Well, if I remember, they were piloting this program at the time.
Okay.
Yes, so it was more like, I think we were the second batch or so with this Bachelor of Science in IT.
Okay.
There was already a computer science program back then.
Okay.
And then they were piloting this IT program. So they had announced it as a pilot or something of that sort, and then I got in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you studied IT and then you went to study for an MBA,
Yeah.
given that it was a general MBA, you could have gone into finance, you could have gone back into IT, you could have gone into supply chain, you could have gone into human capital. Why marketing?
Yes. There's nothing like marketing.
Indeed.
In my opinion, marketing is the only function that allows you to have an idea, plan it out, execute it to the very end, and see how other people connect with what you had in your head as an idea.
Absolutely.
And that uniqueness made it very attractive to me.
Absolutely.
The options were there, plenty, but that was marketing and nothing else.
So what was your first job? Did you work after the first degree, or did you have to finish the MBA first?
Good one. So after my first degree in IT, I actually started working at IPMC.
Oh, really?
And back then, IPMC
the
was the biggest.
No question at all.
It was the biggest IT institution
Yes,
in West Africa back then. I was working there. I was, it was really good.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going on now with the organization, but it gave me a really good footing. And we got to work with technology. We were even teaching some of the
they have all these courses.
That they did. They had partnered with UK universities and all of that. So that's how I started by working there. Now, along the line, I was always interested in business.
Okay.
And I've always had this entrepreneurial thing at the back of my mind. Somebody says, oh, I want to go and do this. I'm like, oh, let's do it. I want to go and do this. Oh, let's do it. So one day, I took the daily graphic, which was supplied to the office. And I saw that there was an institution called Ghana Institute of Consulting.
Okay.
They were training people to become business consultants and management consultants.
Indeed.
And they were having an open day.
Okay.
It wasn't very far from where IPMC was. So I went there with some of my colleagues to join the open day. That's where I met a man who ended up becoming my mentor, Mr. Joe Kwe.
Okay.
Fantastic management consultant, had schooled abroad, practiced abroad, and came to set up his firm here.
Okay.
And so he explained to us how business consulting works, who are management consultants. And when I saw the man making his presentation, I said to myself, I want to be like this man.
Indeed.
I admired him. He had the kind of flair that you have.
Indeed.
He was a master.
He was
at what
charismatic.
he was everything. So I had it at the back of my mind that, okay, I wanted to go into business along that line and put that. So I started, paying attention. I enrolled in the program. I completed, became a management consultant. But it was the marketing side of things that kept me awake. And so I had pursued that over and over. And then, by the grace of God, I got into the MBA program.
Whilst you were still at IPMC?
Yes.
Okay.
Because what happened was Tallow Oil. Tallow Oil opened a scholarship program. They called it a Tallow Group Scholarship Scheme.
Okay.
And they asked the British Council to administer it for them.
Indeed.
And so it was a rigorous process.
Indeed.
You can trust British Council. It was the most rigorous thing I had gone through up to that moment. There were all sorts of assessments and panels and all sorts of interviews and things. I had to go through all of that, and then they awarded me a scholarship. It was fully paid. Then I went into the University of Central Lancashire to get the MBA. Okay. So that's how come I got into business school. And then after business school, I started working in marketing.
Okay. So were you recruited out of the UK, or did you have to come home to Ghana?
That's another exciting story.
Okay.
So you remember I had worked in IPMC.
Yes.
That's where I met a gentleman, Francis Afweni, fantastic guy.
Hey,
Today,
you know him?
Very well. Today he's a big director at Coca-Cola. He's in South Africa as I speak.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He's a big senior director at Coca-Cola. He's in South Africa now.
Okay.
I met him at IPMC and I admired him.
Okay.
I respected him because he was good at his job and he knew how to lead. All the things that you read in books, you see him practicing it. So I became like his mentor, but he was more like a friend, a big brother kind of person.
You became like his mentee, not his mentor.
Yes, sorry. Yes, I became a mentee.
Yes.
So he was a mentor,
Correct.
and then he became like a big brother kind of a thing. Now he got to go into Unilever from IPMC, and then the company took him abroad.
Okay.
Then I also got into business school, and then I went abroad as well.
Correct.
But we stayed in touch.
Okay.
So one day we both came back into Accra. We met in Osu to talk and everything. Then he told me he was going to relocate to Accra. So he was looking for an apartment. That weekend I found an ad for an apartment. So I called him and I said, boss, I've seen this thing, check it out. So we got talking. And then he said, Unilever is opening applications for this marketing and all of this brand management roles. So do you want to try? So he was the one who told me about the opening in Unilever. He told me about the role. He even gave me money for transport to go to the assessment center in Tema.
Okay.
And that's when we went, through the process. And I respect Francis a lot because he has been a major player. He's a good man, correct guy.
Yes. Okay. So Unilever took you?
Yes. So at the end of that process, Unilever took me. I started as brand manager. I began working on the personal care category. Back then, they had personal care as a category, they had home care as a category, they had foods as a category, they had skin care as a category. In the personal care category, they had oral care.
Indeed.
And in oral care, there was Pepsodent brand, there was Close-Up brand, there was toothbrushes.
Oh, okay.
So my first job was to work on the Close-Up brand. A couple of months later, they added everything, Pepsodent, Close-Up, toothbrushes.
Oral.
And then I took over as the oral brand manager. And then my career has been blessed,
Well, so people were there at the time. I'm trying to gauge when you were there.
Yeah.
Who was there? Was Isimos Robinson there?
No, Nana Yakisi was marketing. Nana Yakisi was marketing director.
Okay.
She loved me. I respect her so much. And then Patience Impere, who we need a whole show to speak about Patience and I. Wow. Patience Impere was the category manager for oral care, and Nana Yakisi was marketing head.
Nana is still there.
Yes.
Yeah, I met her. She now works under Christopher Caesar. Chris is back as MD.
He's the MD,
Yes.
He came from Nigeria, actually.
So I had a session with them, I think, beginning of the year.
Nice.
Yeah. So Nana is still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good people.
Very, very good people. So you did oral care, then what happened? You left Unilever or you moved? Okay.
So I did oral care there. We did it was a really good time. We did a lot of impactful things because of the nature of the brands and the consumer that it targets. For example, many people saw a dentist for the first time in their life because of our Pepsodent brand activities. There was a case of a child who was born with a very, very nasty deformity. The brand did a series of activations and took care of the child. And when the parents call you and pray for you, these moments touch your heart. It is not the campaigns or the fanciful things that you remember after a long time. It is the specific things that human beings take from your work.
Of course.
That's what you remember.
I agree.
Of course, they gave us a lot of awards. CIMG gave us Brand Activation of the Year back to back.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
all of that was in my time.
Okay.
Unilever internally had this Oral Health Day, which was on March 20th.
Okay.
It was a competition, 54 countries or so. It was in my time that Ghana won it 3 times in a row.
Okay.
Because we did a lot of things. We used technology. We created all these VR experiences for school children.
Correct.
So school children will wear these VR glasses and go through the tooth and learn about dental hygiene. And all of this has to do with my background of tech, IT degree, plus marketing. And so being able to blend these things.
One of those legacy brands which have been so dominant. Categories are named after them. Like, I'm going to buy Pepsodent. So that's one of those brands that has traditionally been so dominant that categories have been named after them.
Yes.
So did you enjoy the blessing of that? Because you also had other brands that were toothpaste brands, but was Pepsodent as strong? Because now they are doing charcoal variants and stuff like that, just to keep the brand alive. But back then, Pepsodent was strong, wasn't it?
It was. It was. And, it's a gift and a curse.
Okay.
The blessing comes in the fact that the brand is so dominant, like you say, it is a category reference. Anybody comes in, they refer to, Pepsodent as the category. But it's also a curse because every new joiner steals your market share. So every time AC Nielsen delivers the market share reports, your shares are dropping because some brand A in brand C launched yesterday, flooded 2 markets, and you have some 0.01, and you have to explain. So it was an interesting experience. But
it was a blessing and a challenge in one.
Yes. But it gave me the rigor of marketing science. It gave me Unilever is famed for
very famous
for the rigorous training of marketing, and I bless God for that opportunity. I thank the people who took me there, and Patience Impere in particular. She loved me. We worked together till today. We are like sister. She's like my sister. You know, we are like family. So Unilever was a good.
So after toothpaste, what happened to you?
So after toothpaste, I got a call. You know. And then it turns out to be Fan Milk. Fan Milk is a Danone company. Danone is the world's largest yogurt manufacturer.
Okay.
And Danone was on a program to expand across Africa. Okay. So Fan Milk, you know. And so the Fan Milk opportunity came, and then I took it because it allowed me to do...
Is Friesland a competitor to Danone?
Friesland Campina does milk. They do dairy. Yeah. So within the general dairy... Yes. Within the general dairy category, yes. Yes, Danone in Ghana focuses more on frozen yogurt, steady drinking yogurt, all of that. Friesland does milk and milk powder for things like that. Okay. So
you got a call?
Yes, from Danone, and then you know I took the opportunity because I found it to be an opportunity to do even more.
Indeed.
Even more.
Indeed.
Because in the Unilever typical global system, there is a global team which does what they call brand development.
Indeed.
So they begin with the concepts, they create all of that, and then you run the rest of the piece to the end in the local market.
Absolutely.
But in Danone at the time, you do end-to-end.
Oh, wow.
So you generate the concepts yourself, you do your insights, you do all of that, then you do
all
the
locally.
Brand. Yes.
So ideation, everything is from here.
Everything in Danone.
Okay.
And so that was very attractive to me. And of course, my boss was on this show not long ago, Edwin Amako.
Edwin was there?
He was the head of marketing when I arrived.
Oh, really?
In Danone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow,
he moved on to other things.
Did you ever meet a guy called Jabano? It was before your time?
That was before.
Before your time,
yes.
Okay, all right.
So Edwin Amako was the head of marketing when I arrived. You know, he moved on to other things. Fantastic guy.
Okay.
He works as a management consultant now. EA Consult. Please check them out.
Okay.
You know, so Danone was a good place. It is still a good place. It's a great place to work if you are, you know, interested in marketing, sales, and things like this. Danone is a great place to work.
So you went there as what? Brand manager again?
Yes. So I got into Danone as brand manager. I became senior brand manager in Danone. I became the leader of the Ghana marketing team.
And you were superintending which brands?
So in Ghana at the time, the brands in Ghana were Fan Yogo, it was Super Yogo, it was the ice cream brands was Fan Ice. We had Go Slow.
Did you go into lime and chocolate and something?
They are all flavors of the Super Yogo.
The Super Yogo. Okay.
So we had this thing we call the flavor animation strategy, where you keep the Fan Yogo frozen yogurt strawberry as the base. Then from time to time, you bring other things to excite the consumer, like mango passion, funky banana, all of this cocoa pine. They come and go to keep you exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I find that sometimes in multinationals like yours, the brand part is separated sometimes from the sales and the commercial. So if you take a typical multinational, you can have a commercial director, or you can have a market director working on the brand, and then a sales director landing and then carrying the sales figure. So what models were you running at Unilever and then at
Yes. So in Unilever, the sales director was called the customer development director.
Indeed.
Back in my days.
Indeed.
And that person was accountable for total business.
Indeed.
Total business.
Indeed.
But on the marketing side, the categories had directors.
Correct.
So personal care had a director.
Correct.
Across the region.
Correct.
Home care had a director.
Correct.
So all these directors manage their categories.
Okay.
But the sales director is for a country.
Okay.
And the sales director delivers numbers for the entire country.
Okay.
And that's how the setup was in Unilever.
But then it means that the category managers need a close working relationship with the sales guy.
It's the only way. Otherwise, when the VSM goes out, he's supposed to deliver a target of 10, and he knows that this product A is what sells. He will sell all of it and go and not sell yours. But you have launched an innovation, and you have to deliver your targets.
Indeed.
So you always need that close relationship.
You do.
It's the only way out.
You do.
It's the only way out.
And it was the same when you went to Danone as well.
Yeah, in Danone, same. There was one sales director delivering total country, but in Danone there was one head of marketing who was Edwin.
Correct.
We didn't have different category directors.
Okay.
Yes, and so then
So in Danone, did the marketing director carry both the sales targets and the brand targets?
No, there was a sales director, in charge of total country, all numbers, all categories, all brands.
Okay.
Then the marketing director was also heading total country, all brands, everything.
Okay.
So the collaboration was tighter, and they worked together. So in Danone, sales plus marketing is called top line. So
Okay.
you go for commercial meeting, they say this is a top line meeting.
Okay.
It means sales plus marketing.
But there are some multinationals that sort of coalesce the function into a commercial director. And you must carry both. So
Yeah,
you sort
and they even call it growth.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
and you, not long ago, I actually posted something about how some of the global organizations were doing that.
Yes.
They were creating a head of growth at the very top.
Yeah. Coca-Cola even experimented with it.
Right.
I think they came back to marketing director.
Yeah.
But at a point, they created a chief growth officer.
Yes,
and
chief
everything
growth
must be-
officer,
it
and
must be-
everything goes in. So marketing people will dock into the chief growth officer, sales people will dock into the person. And people have all sorts of hybrid setup just to make sure that they deliver what they have
So
to
you've been at
deliver.
Danone since.
Yes.
How have your roles metamorphosed over time?
Danone has been a period of growth for me. I went in as brand manager. I became senior brand manager. I became the head of the Ghana, the lead of the local Ghana marketing team for a while. Then we got, into a West Africa structure, which is what I currently do now, where I'm in charge of yogurt category across the West Africa sub-region. So it's been going from step to step, and we bless God for the opportunity.
So you went to study IT, went to do an MBA, but you've worked in marketing for over a decade. Marketing, when it started in the 1940s, was about the 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion. When the service sector began to grow in the 50s, we went to 7 Ps, added people, fiscal evidence, and processes. But we live in a totally different age. I keep saying that when I studied marketing in 1994 as a first-year student, in 2025, it's a different world. So what can you say about where marketing started from and where we've evolved to today?
I mean, you said it already. It began from somewhere, it's evolved. And what I like to add to this is, I see people debating whether the 4 Ps are totally irrelevant. And some people are saying, yes, it's irrelevant, forget it. It has zero use in today's world. And then some people are also saying, no, it is still the same. And I find that kind of debate fascinating. Because you see, we need to always go back to the principles. When E.J. McCarthy created the 4 Ps in 1960, what he was aiming to do was to say, what value is a company offering and how are they giving it to the consumer? Those were his foundational thinking. So if somebody is now saying today 4 Ps are totally irrelevant or all of these are not needed, let's check it again. There were organizations back then in the 1960s who were creating an offer and giving it to consumers. Do we still have organizations today who are creating a value offer? Yes.
We do.
There were consumers back then who were receiving offers from organizations. Do we still have consumers today who are receiving them? Yes, we do.
We do.
But the environment in 1960 was in a certain way. Is the environment today the same as it used to be in 1960? No.
Not at all.
No. The consumer in 1960 was a certain way. Is the consumer today same as the consumer of 1960? No. So what this tells people is that the what has not changed, but the how is evolving.
Okay.
So instead of people spending energy saying this is stop it, this is not good, what people should rather think is how do we interpret these basic foundations in today's world? And the way to do it is to say, okay, I still have to offer value to the consumer. But if today's consumer is different, they are this, they are that, how do I do them? So I really encourage people to see how to interpret these foundations in today's world.
When you take not-for-profit and public sector, there's also sometimes a debate about whether a Minister of State needs marketing. There's a debate about whether the guy at Maritime Authority as CEO needs marketing. What are your thoughts on marketing for non-commercial spaces? Is this still needed? What are your thoughts?
Everybody needs marketing. If you don't market yourself, somebody will market you for you.
Okay.
And you may not like how they market you for you. Everybody needs marketing. I mean, marketing in a for-profit or a commercial space has a certain objective. If you are in a non-profit or any of this, you have a different objective. But there are principles that can be applied. And so the power of brands can be applied, whether you are selling a physical product or not. Consumer experience can be applied, whether you are selling a physical product or not. All of these principles are applicable. And so it is really important for everybody to apply some mix, in what they do.
So the question then becomes, those who don't appreciate marketing at senior management level, what advocacy can you make to get them to understand the centrality of marketing for customer engagement, customer experience, brand discipline, even marketing for internal marketing purposes, just to get, look, I keep teasing my colleagues in human capital that very few of them have good employer branding programs where you are running a system to ensure that your institution is seen as brand of choice when people are looking to move. So what can you say to the C-suite people in terms of marketing as central value driver?
First of all, every single day people are making choices. Why should they bypass everybody else and choose you? That's the central thinking that people need to have at the back of their mind. Everybody is a consumer of one thing, whether a product, a good, or a service, or the other. But so long as there is more than one supplier, there is an element of choice.
But Maritime Authority will tell you there's no other supplier. they will tell you they have a monopoly, so you buy, you don't buy, we don't care. Without understanding that if they deliver better service, they'll get better patronage.
Exactly the point. And beyond all of this patronage, there's also the brand power.
Correct.
There are things that you can do to make your brand attractive in such a way that people want to associate with Maritime Authority.
Okay.
If you stand by the roadside and ask people, where do you work? And somebody says, oh, I work with Professor Hinson. The person says, oh, wow, it's a big, that's a positive brand association.
Indeed.
But if somebody says, where do you work? And so I do this and do that. These organizations must always be concerned about the reputation they have, the perception they have in the mind of the consumer. And marketing is a powerful tool for achieving this. And so people should not think that marketing is just about selling physical products. No, building brands, commanding power in the consumer's mind is an objective, and marketing is a vehicle to deliver it.
On the issue of marketing, reputational management, carrying power, we'll take a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Titans and Trailblazers. Please stay tuned.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. With MNC Properties, property sales, rentals, and management is a walk in the park. We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 to 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We offer flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs, plus litigation-free lands in vibrant and upscale communities that presents the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 0302 551 917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Welcome back to Titans and Trailblazers, and now we want to talk about artificial intelligence. Eric, let's talk about AI. You like AI so much.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with President Mahama's speech. That famous post you made on LinkedIn, I saw it. Tell us about what happened with the speech and the prediction you made.
Yes. Very exciting. I've been experimenting with AI for some time now. And so when this March, the president will usually deliver a speech on Independence Day. So around February, I started wondering, what is President Mahama going to say? So I said to myself, let me use AI to predict the speech and see what he actually says. So it was just one of my many experiments that I do. And so I got working. I was a bit busy at work, but I started working. Then I managed to build a prediction of what the president was going to say. So I posted my prediction on my LinkedIn page on the Independence Day around 7 a.m. GMT before the event. And I waited patiently for the president. So the president came and did his usual, and then I took the full text of what the president actually said and compared my prediction with the actual, and we got 60% match. I was very excited.
That's amazing.
But just because it is possible, the possibility of being able to do things like this, is really exciting. And so that was
how
what I
did
did.
the market analytics work? Like, what was the methodology you used?
Good. So to predict anything at all, you need two things.
Correct.
First, you need a base.
Of course.
The base can either be a trend
Yes.
or history.
Correct.
So you have that, you put it down. Then second, you need what I call a steer. You have to direct the prediction to a certain end. So for the sake of President Mahama, the good thing is that he's been president before.
Of course.
So I took his previous speech on Independence Day as my base to say, okay, I used that previous speech. And then also when he became president, his victory speech, I picked that. So I put that into the AI tool and I said, use this to learn his style of communication. So I used the tool to learn from what the president had done before,
of course,
to learn his communication. So that was the base.
Yes.
Now the steering comes in where, based on what President Mahama said when he became president, he spoke about Reset Ghana and things like that. So you can already tell that whatever he's going to say on Independence Day, directionally, these things will come in.
Indeed.
So I use that to also steer it. So that is your base to begin. Secondly, you now have to find a way to make it objective. So what you do is that, based on all that I've got as a base, I now say, okay, summarize the key topics that the president is interested in. And for the sake of comparison, just give me 15 bullet points. Don't write a whole thing, because if you use a lot of words, your percentage comparisons will be out of place. So I just pulled out 15 bullet points of topics that the president is likely to deliver.
Indeed.
So from the base and the steer, we got the 15 topics. Now I posted my version and waited. When the president delivered his actual speech, I took the full text of the president's speech, word for word. Then, because you need uniformity to compare, I now converted the full text of the president's speech into 15 bullet points.
Indeed.
So that I can have apples for apples. My 15 points, which I think he's going to say, what AI thinks he's going to say,
yeah,
and then the 15 points from what he really said.
Absolutely.
Then you now have to go to the actual comparison. When you are comparing something like this, you don't use word for word. If you use word for word, you will lose out on the meaning.
Very much.
So you do a meaning-based comparison, which means that what is the idea of this paragraph? Is the president talk about DDP? That is the idea. Is he talking about Greek? That's the idea. So I now did a meaning-based comparison using 15 points from what he really said and 15 points from what AI predicted. And out of the 15, 9 of them came true in his speech. And so that was how we put it out. I posted it, I shared the prompts. Anybody wants to experiment can just connect with me, Eric Kuma, on LinkedIn, and you can see. It was a really exciting experiment for me. And the way people reacted to this kind of thing gave me a lot of energy. And that is why I went ahead and launched my AI course, my AI training course, which is on now, and I encourage everybody to check it out. Just connect with me, Eric Kuma, on LinkedIn, and you can see that.
Well, so the prediction for the presidency was interesting because you came quite close. But from a marketing development standpoint, what does it then mean for other comparable situations? Like, for instance, can we look at how the ABSA MD would deliver his next speech? Can we look at how the Nestle MD would deliver his or her next speech, and so on and so forth. And what does it mean for speech writing discipline? Because you see, sometimes what you say must align with your brand persona. And therefore, anything you say, either in written or spoken format, must align with your brand persona. So what are the lessons for speech writers, PR professionals, marketing professionals? I want you to practicalize it for marketing and communication professionals.
There are lots of lessons for people in the area of marketing and communications. The first thing is that possibility has just expanded. What is possible now with AI has just expanded. So in the past, if you wanted to write a speech, let's say you wanted to write a speech for, let's say, the MD of an organization, the MD of Danone or whatever, you probably have to spend a couple of days, spend time, talk to the person and all of that. Now you don't need all of that. You just need to agree on the priorities. What are the key messages to land? And large organizations already have their key messages.
Of course.
They already have the key messages. Absolutely. In large organizations.
Absolutely.
That means that one person with an AI tool can just take the key messages of an organization and generate speeches for any leader.
That's true.
And it will be on brand. It will represent the idea that the leader wants because the key messages have been provided. So it's a very important thing for communication professionals to be able to know how these tools can be used to do things like this.
You see, but you must have a certain, if you like, discipline or knowledge store yourself as the manipulator of the tool, because I found that AI tools can throw out a lot of crap if you don't know what you are doing. So you might eventually bring a speech. Look, I had a speech recently where somebody was talking and was saying that, so in a place like Ghana, as a West African country, and the person was in Ghana, you could smell this AI generated because the speech is not curated after the outputs come. So what's the importance of curating and making sure that the thing is finally on point, and not because AI said you should run with it? I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I say it every time whenever I train people on AI that don't just copy anything that you got from any AI tool and just use it. No, you are human for a reason. The process is this: human to AI to human. Meaning a human brings the idea, uses the AI to generate the outcome, then the human vets, be satisfied that it is correct before releasing it. So that process is there. But on your main question, there are two sides to it. There is what we call the rise of the AI generalist. Then there is prompt engineering. These are the two things that will make sure that you can do this thing and do it in a way that really, really delivers the result. The AI generalist is somebody who knows how to use the tools and has a general idea of the subject matter. In other words, you don't have to be a professional comms person. If you have a basic idea of comms and you know how to use the tools well and you have the basic principles, you can use the tools and deliver a result that's good enough. But the second part is the prompt engineering. AI chatbots are not humans. They don't understand human language the way we do. The only way to communicate with them is through a prompt. The prompt is what you type in the prompt window, which gives you the result. So what I always tell people is that you have to spend time to learn how to prompt. If you know how to prompt, you get quality results. So for AI, if you want quality results from AI, you give quality inputs to AI. When it comes to the prompting, let me just take this opportunity to explain one thing that a lot of people don't know. People just go on to any AI tool. The popular one is ChatGPT, but there's more. There's Claude.ai, there's Perplexity, there's Meta, there's so many of them, a lot of them. And just say, give me a speech for President's Independence Day. No, that's not how to do it. The first thing is that you have to assign AI a role. The role means that what hat should AI tool wear before writing the speech? You can write a speech as a journalist. You can write a speech as a brand manager. If a journalist wants to write something, the journalist is interested in making it newsworthy and fast to air. But if you're a brand manager, you are interested in your brand key message and your brand's ideas. A PR professional is in the middle of the two. A PR professional can take the key elements from a brand and use the tricks from a journalist to make it newsworthy. So you start by telling AI that act as a PR professional. That first line there will shoot the quality of your input from 0 to 50 before you even start. You don't just start and say, give me a switch for independence, or give me a switch for environment day, give me a switch for milk day. No, you start by saying, act as a PR professional. That first line is called the role. You are telling the AI tool that this is the role I need you to play. Be a PR professional. That's the first one, the role. After the role, then you now give AI the task. Generate a speech for me to do so and so. Make it 200 words, format it for print, all of that. So that is what you are giving to it to do. That is the task. After the task, you now give it the output, or if you like, the context. The context is the background information that it needs to pick to give you the result that you want. If you just say, give me a press release, well, anybody can write a press release. But when you now give it context that, oh, this product is targeted as females 18 to 24, they shop in this, they are online, all of that is the context. And then finally, you state the output. Make it short, make it this, use colors, all of that. So this format I just explained is called role, task, context, output, RTCO. This is the foundation of prompting. And anybody who uses this prompt in this format, the role, the task, the context, and the output, will immediately see a serious improvement in the outcomes that they get. And you will see it and you'll be like, this is good quality. You will not even detect that it's written by AI. So it's about understanding the prompts.
So I want us to wrap up this first episode and prepare for the second. And when we go for the second episode of this show, we'll start from the role, task, context, and output. Except to say that, you see, maybe because I've been around for a while, but AI quality is actually influenced by human quality, which means that if I have to write a speech, for instance, for the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, even the quality of the background context I put to the AI tool, the output can never be like you just sitting somewhere in Sakumono and typing, please give me a speech for University of Ghana VC for next congregation. No.
Never.
I'll put in historical antecedents.
Exactly.
I'll put in student trends. So the prompt, my prompts will be 100 times richer than yours.
Exactly.
The output will be different.
That's why you're a prompt engineer.
Exactly. So I keep telling people that if your human quality is eroding, don't think AI will come and save you.
It amplifies your poor performance.
It did. So normal jokers become consummate jokers through AI.
Exactly.
And then sharp people have tremendous enhancement through AI.
Exactly.
So you are still the central driver of the AI's value. If you are dead, the AI is dead. Nothing good can happen for you.
This is why you are the one. You are the prof. There's none like you.
On this note, on this AI note, thank you very much for watching Titans and Trailblazers. This is part 1 of a 2-part session we're going to have with Eric. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.
Next on Titans and Trailblazers.
Let me ask him why AI is now so important for every functional business area in the modern organization.
History is very clear. Technology moves in waves. And when a certain wave arrives, you will not succeed if you fight it.
That's it.
Or if you resist it.
That's it.
Rather, those who jump on it and go with it are the ones who go far.
Titans and Trailblazers is brought to you by the MNC Group.